What? Oh my God. Oh my God. If you can tell that I'm beaming, if you can tell that I am glowing, it's because I am married now. Holy sh! To have this baby, this manifestation exist as record of the conception of what Tuesday afternoon was for me, February 14th, 2023, is just, I feel forever grateful, and like I've found and created this circuit to stay forever connected to the ways I was guiding my own light forward through my life. And it is so special and so sentimental that this art form, but also archive, but also practice and service is here and available, and will have so many beautiful repurposes throughout my life. I just saw 111. It's so beautiful. It was so angelic. It was so heavenly. I am literally looking at my wedding dress right now. As you know, I started this channel like pretty much a year ago at this time. I was really in the physical, like, get it together. Let's start building up the confidence and the understanding of as to why we deserve to take this next step. And I just felt like opening up and reflecting on the renewal and the replenishment that I've received in this year of filming, but also receiving my own nourishment and my own power back, and having a relationship with something really real and authentic to who I am. So it was so special, and I was splitting the deck, and the reason I chuckled when I began the recording, because here we are, we've got the star and the Ace of Cups here. I mean, it doesn't get more synchronistic, more revelatory, more unveiling, more penetrating, more combustion, more, I mean, it's all of the things, because there's this aspect of light and dark, like when you know that it's just overcoming, and it creates this nebula. Like I see a nebula, a stardom, really, that has the potential to, oh my God, quite literally build a high structure above what seems like universes being rendered small in comparison. Like, it is a big level of visibility and grounding and connection, and deserved because of its equal balance. You know what I mean? I see, like, expansionship in every way. So this partnership with you and the world around you, and that includes the people, the animals, the other species, like everything that you engage with, specifically your breath, is going to really emphasize the deservedness of what this time is. And I'm so grateful that my wedding day was so truly and resoundingly a deserved moment in time for all parties involved, whether they were physically there or just benefit from the circumstance of me now being in a recognized union, in a respected union. We reserve a level of respect, I guess, for the institution of marriage, if you so subscribe to it. But I don't really see why you wouldn't. I mean, it's not everyone's path, but that path for those who it's for, you deserve to be in the truth of that, And that's how I felt, an overwhelming sense of, this is just what's true for me. And I think that has been remarkable and special, and that is what the star archetype is truly all about, the truth for you. And I think that that's what makes the age of the Aquarius, and how big energies are transitioning from more of an idolized version, meaning like anybody, it doesn't have to be true for you in order for you to have it. So like it's something you can obtain, versus age of the Aquarian is there is nothing to obtain. There's no movement. It's still air. It's fixed air. You know what I mean? We are circling this present moment, you know? We are all around this entire situation and we see and experience all of it, you know? Because we hold it. We create it. Aquarius says, you've seen the human with the globe on its head that it's holding up, that's Aquarius. Because the reality of the world outside of just like the physical planet is just really what you create it to be. That's what that like person holding up the planet really represents. You know what I mean? My stomach is really communicating. Like I feel like my sacral is like screaming and shouting and indicating like a need for water. So I'm gonna get some water. It's really not a negative thing. I think it's just communicating. Yeah, but anywho, it's extremely phenomenal, and I'm so excited. And in a lot of ways, I think it's beautiful that I've got this diary of the work that I do and the way that I connect to and feel energy, and more than just feeling it, or at the best just feeling it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm really here to do, is to just be whatever it is for me. And I think, again, when I was saying about the age of Pisces and this transition from something to obtain, something that I can become, like stardom isn't something that you really can like become or make happen for yourself. It just would be it's just what's true for some. You know what I mean? Energies. And that's where things are being returned to. So it's not that you won't see people who have, but it is like those who don't true, if it is not what is also really innately true for your spirit, you will drop off. So you will, the kind of concept of like what's still standing in any aspect of your life, you can look around and see like what is standing up. Like that's how I feel. Like psychically, I have just gone through this experience where everyone was able to rationalize like what their decision was going to be from moment to moment by looking at like where is the giant ace of cups with the sun spouting out coming from in comparison to like the much lower elevation like muggy, because this is swamp. Even though the lotus is beautiful, it's karmic, it's attached, it's not detached, it's like in the water. And it's like the beauty of the lotus flowers is as refreshing as it's gonna get, because it's always gonna have these deep entrenched vines at just below the surface. So there are some of us that are just in this energy, right? Like with my wedding, for everyone who committed to being there, which was just really kind of like immediate family, because I really didn't know much information about how it was gonna go. So that's kind of the surprise of it all. But it was like, even with the inconvenience of like spirit speaking and moving things and saying it's time for us to come together at this time for this, and regardless of like the constraints of time or distance or where we are or whether we were ready or whatever, you kind of just like, when it's time, it's time. And so that's how things really went. Regardless of that, like the experience was this drastic polar end, like if like as if like the wedding and being there and what me and my partner getting married was really about stood as this sort of like, not like we like there's a structure that is just like boom in the middle of, so separate, but in the middle, towering over any of this lower, denser elevation. And I think that's what's happening right now, is like beanstalk energy, like truly, truly, truly. And that's kind of what I was getting with this, like this display of your colors, your uniqueness, is the value that that has, the stardom that that brings, is truly a work of art, is what I hear and feel. And the way that I see that everyone that I would want to really have a moment with, I'm getting a moment with. And the radical acceptance of it all, and the groundedness of it all, because that's really also what's really at my center. You know, I have an earth moon, so it's like I like to really concretely be secure in what I feel. And that can be anything, but I just want to be able to know that I can feel like okay in that space. So it's been beautiful to have had the week that I had, the most life-changing portal of energy I've ever gone through. And yeah, so I'm just going to do some messaging because that's just really what I have. Like, I really felt like I needed to get to the point today with the message and just kind of support and express. And there's so much more art that we're going to produce tomorrow. So there will be a lot more updates on just it, because I'm really happy to share and create art about what's an experience that's so uniquely mine. And for that I'm very excited. I mean, it's like such a different, like, the energy right now is talking about, like, come on, like, as the ice breaks and, like, one shore is separating from the other and the other is going to is floating away to a different experience altogether, you know what I mean? A completely different experience altogether. You know, this is about that final opportunity to bridge, you know, to really make it, to really commit to it. You know, this final push to say that hopefully you have a few inspired ones who were there doing the work, right? Pushing it forward. You know? Do you want your attention and your focus to be here? Because we see that what we see here is ignorance. What we see here is unconsciousness. Or what we see here is unconsciousness and then direct conscious, what you're conscious of. Because the point is, he's not grabbing this, he doesn't see it. Four of Cups. The fourth cup always comes in where it's like, if you keep your nose down and keep grinding, you can grab that fourth cup. Because that fourth cup is a Page of Pentacles. And I have a feeling that you are feeling right now that every step and decision and choice that you have made has allowed you to arrive at a space that you are truly, like, this is what I mean. High Priestess Junior, Two of Swords. It's whenever you don't know, whenever you're presented, okay, red or blue, left or right, which way, what's true for you right now? You had to make a bunch of those choices. So first, is what I'm hearing. First, you had, like, there's so many reasons to say congratulations and to be proud of the collective energy right now. Just genuinely, because first, the collective had to acknowledge that there was a refocusing of attention in order to obtain this. So this means you have the 3-cup, third party, external, outside of myself. This is the third dimension right here in front of you. And everything you emotionally connect to the third dimension right in front of you. Then, almost out of the clouds, out of the tree, something so much higher, something that takes you from the depression, from the sunkenness of it, right? From being down here, you could go up there. There is a higher emotion than what you're experiencing. This is the moment where you recognize and you get honest about Four of Cups, that you could feel better. I could have more than this. The fourth cup comes, should you take it, when you believe. The satisfaction of the Four of Cups is when you believed you could feel something even more, even better, when you acknowledge it's not done, when you acknowledge that there are 10 cups. And if I'm only at the 3, then there are times when I can walk away from the emotional attachments I have to just the accomplishment within its own right, yes, but in terms of how quickly or how much I am capable of reaching total fulfillment, holistic fulfillment. When I get that, when I recognize that I can get that close, and that's by reaching for a higher emotion. The fourth cup is always from the clouds, from God's hand directly. This is something reaching for you, and you being in gratitude that they reached down and said no. Because I have a feeling that, like, for me, I was in a position where I could really choose who I want to bring up if they didn't choose it. Because plenty of people chose it from themselves. But of the people who I know that they're consciousness and their inability to initiate change, because there's a lot of trauma and things that people may not be working at. So their inability to initiate change may have made them miss certain portals, or stay in things, that stay focused on things that are not there. You cannot stop there. Like like again, if the ceiling is here and the ground is muting up, like you really must know that in order to break through the glass ceiling to stop, because when you grow, when the beanstalk busts, like, I mean, it's just like when you realize there's so much more. I think Jack and the Beanstalk really resonates because, this is very ninth house, the aspect of when you have a higher view, your limitations about what you can and can't grow. It's about how much you can see so much more with the elevation, with the understanding that there could be more. And some people have really been suffering. A majority of people have really suffered from being disconnected, in the sense that there's a not just a complacency, but there is a rested or a seatedness about life that doesn't feel natural to the human walking body, right? Like you have this need to be reaching, and not even reaching so much, but I mean, should you find yourself in a place of dissatisfaction where you aren't aware that when there is better or more, you could have it, like this is just like your focus being to the place where it's like this is available to you, but you're unaware, you know what I mean? And so to know that something bursts out of the clouds to get your attention and tell you like that you must take this next cup, because you're in the business of having all of the cups and there's the other one. So it's like you've got to do what you've got to do to get that cup, because that's your cup. You know what I mean? And this is the Two of Swords. This is the fucking relying on yourself. This is how we are strengthening our connection to our intuition at this time, to our plug, our source, where we are, that power source. I really, really care about the maintenance of that in what I feel like I serve. You know what I mean? And I don't really think that any of the messages I share are really about necessarily energy that's coming, or energy that's really just like outside of anything other than really more so like how can you strengthen what you know to be true and what you feel by what I'm confirming and affirming in the spaces and the energies that I can pick up on. And that way, that when you leave from this space, you feel like the serendipity and alignment of me being who I am and you being who you are, being a viewer of this, and resonating and connecting and having and doing work, like can affirm these daily processes, right? Where we've got to know when to take the cup and when it's being presented to us. So I feel like there was that first recognition that like good on you for knowing that it was something higher, something spiritual was being presented to you, an opportunity that even if you didn't understand it or know what was in it or what it was going to bring you, you took it. And when you took that opportunity, you not only then solidified your intuition, you are directly syncing up with the moon. I'm telling you, like right now, the Pisces new moon is coming in, which is the last sort of new moon in that cycle. You know what I mean? So this is really the indicator of spring's oncoming vibes, and this Pisces new moon is bringing the just beauty, and it's just like the way that you built this by just, again, there's so much that this Two of Swords was responsible for. And how you almost have a double filter. It's like double filtering water. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Is like when you have your truth and you run it by yourself, but then you have another truth to also run it by. And it affirms you. Like, I feel like everyone was getting presented this opportunity for like their truth was speaking and processing what it thought about what was going on for itself. So like, I know what I feel about what I'm thinking. I know what I'm thinking right now. And maybe you know what changes you want to initiate, or you know where you need work, or you know what you have done, or you know what you're celebrating, like whatever it is. But then it was like there was this other truth that you were not expecting that came in to also double reinforce what is true for you, because of how they affirm what you feel. And it's a separate truth, Two of Swords. And it builds it's a grand trine. It was a grand trine is what I guess my spirit wants to say. It was a grand trine vibes. You know what I mean? A completed equal 30-30-30 situation. Or whatever the angulation is. Eight of Pentacles. And it sent you on this, it gave you the energy, which is aligned with the universal energies right now, with all planets direct and these boosts we're about to really get throughout the month of March and everything. Like, I just feel like I jumped into the pocket of time perfectly for me, that my life is really going to be blessed forever. So that's a really big feeling for me, but I'm sharing all that love and all that energy right now because that is exactly what is really great, is available right now. And this burst of productivity that like gets you feet into what you've always been really creating. It's just like, exactly, look what comes in. It's, you know what I mean? It's almost like, you know, that this amount of work is what directly brings in the ships in perfect time. Like, you just have this timeliness and this restedness where you can really just watch it happen. Watch how, boom, today, like each day, the universe was just telling us what it was going to be. And that was probably one of the most magical aspects of my entire wedding week, was just how much every single day we'd wake up with this sort of pitted feeling, this like itch for change. Then I feel change because Uranus, again, is my soul dispositor in my chart, which means that's the planet that all of my aspects and all of my placements run back through. So Uranus is really running the show with me, and that's probably why I've got this. This is the sandwich shop that Dennis and I used to manage together over the summer. And anyways, but they're called Thundercloud. And anyways, I've worked there since I was like a teen, you know, at different points, like throughout college or whatever. So it's just, and when I met my husband, he was also working at Thundercloud. So that was like, anyways, something to share. Look at this. Like, falling in love, Queen of Swords, with your truth. There's the Queen of Swords is beautiful because of her truth. I feel like I say this all the time, but if I don't, in the event, she's beautiful because it's true. This was when the collective became aware that the only beautiful thing about me is the shit that's true. The shit that's not true is this just couldn't be any less appealing to me. You know? And so for there to have been so much beauty at my wedding means that the love was true. And that's what I feel like everybody walked away feeling. You know what I mean? True love. True love in the age of Pisces was Disney, right? Was, oh, look, there's true love. As if true love is a thing, like one thing. It's not. It's a verification. You either are in a true love situation, like that love is either true for you or it's not. There isn't like a, that's true love and that's not. No. That's either true love for you, as in this love is true, or not. Again, that is what it means. It was like the union, the double verification, like you got reinforced by spirit so directly, so intimately in this time, so fucking spot on, where you being told, this is how you can't say you didn't know how your higher self felt. Because you're getting that information. So your character develops because your character is the combination between flesh and spirit, okay? And this is, again, when we were talking about MOK and Capricorn season, right? Like, this is the conversation that we have when we really want to understand what he refers to by what God, or the highest consciousness, right? Because that's what God really is, the highest consciousness, the all-encompassing, right? When the highest consciousness is really looking at the truth of what it is, that's what judgment is. True, what it is. Judgment is what it is. It's not punishment. Right? It isn't condemnation. It is what it is. You know? And I think that's another big element of why at this time I felt like my wedding was at like a courthouse. You know what I mean? Because I feel like there was an appropriateness to this Aquarian energy and this Mercury in Aquarius that was really, really in a high degree, that could really calculate and compute at a very quick level, and astuteness, a sort of genius, a sort of logic that isn't about feeling or subjectivity. It is an objective computation, an objective, you could orchestrate this and make this happen, and you showed up and brought the subject of the matter. You provided this, and this is what it, so then that is why this is true for you. Because it is you. And that is the resounding energy right now. But I feel like a lot of people are being challenged to really have to accept, you know what I mean? That, you know, we can really spend our whole lives running a narrative and thinking that if I just live out the narrative, no one will see my truth. And, you know, I had family members, everyone was confronted. Like, I think, you know, the highest consciousness and God really used my wedding day to enact a serious gavel knocking, a serious time's up, boom, chefs, drop your utensils, you know, to really get the people in my life to have some point of, okay, stop collecting experience from everything that you've got in your hands right now, on your spirit, in your heart, in your mind, all of it right now. What is it? What is it? And that's hard for some people because they have made their whole lives about the narrative they can tell about themselves. And even worse, when it keeps them from doing the deep healing that I really truly believe is important for them to be really doing at this time. So it was so many things, and I could not have been more grateful and honored to be of service to initiate that, at least in my family's life, because it's time, people. It's time to go to your homes, into your houses, and do the work that needs to be done. I mean, point blank period, unless you really, really just don't want to be here. Because I'm telling you right now, it isn't hard, it isn't anything that isn't natural, okay? To really go into and relieve yourself of the pain and the suffering, to do the work, to have the confrontation, to be of service. The time is now temperance. You know what I mean? Temperance and reverse. Like you did when it's almost like temperance is always well timed and well aware, like of the balancing. We're done tempering. It's forced into a healing space. So again, you know, for anyone experiencing an ending or a closing out that really like throws something out in a way that like rips you into a new consciousness quickly. Celebrate, rest, reflect, and know that you are in the midst of the change, the thing that you have been waiting for. Because the beautiful thing about this time is, yes, it's going to be for those of us who didn't initiate the changes that need to be initiated. They're all getting initiated. So that can be a lot if there's a lot of things you haven't really moved on. But that's not everybody's experience, and it's always relative, and there's always balance. So know that you're getting what you really need. Know that this relief, this recovery is what you really need. Know that laying your back on your truth and resting for a second when all this could be pointed at you, knowing that that thing gave you relief, that proves what it is. That proves what it is. And it just felt like the neosporin of this Queen of Cups. You know what I mean? This was me on my wedding day, feeling like temperance in reverse. Temperance was done. The cups were balanced. We had equal amount of love in our hearts. The Queen of Cups, is coming from this healing period. When the hurt was too much, I rested on my own truth. And I decided that my truth was my love, my cup, being balanced to this other person. Like when all the swords were being drawn at me, Spirit said, ding, hey, you two, your cups are 2 of cups, you're ready. And that was the most affirming moment I could have ever had to reflect on my real strength, how strong I really had to be. To walk forward with my truth. Knight of Swords. to go get with man, because the Knight of Swords gets a message from God and goes on a journey to go deliver that message, to go connect that truth. You know what I mean? And our strength was going to be at the forefront, because you'd have to be extremely strong to have pulled off what we just pulled off in 5 days. Page of Rods. And it puts you at this Page of Rods clarified by the Five of Swords. It puts you at this, you just took the pain and just said, I'm going to make art with it. I'm going to begin again. I'm going to be a beginner. It doesn't matter if all I have is just this inspiration alone. The Page of Wands has, again, the inspired message from God. They are now, there's magic they have from God, you know? And it's magic that came from taking the L. Having 5 swords and saying, what's the honorable thing to do? Because in the Aquarian Tarot, this 5 of Swords is really about that honorable thing. You know? Because the point in the 5 of Swords is that this conflict was created by attraction, by the laws of attraction. Meaning both of them can be like, well, he did it first, or she did it first, or this is the reason. It doesn't matter, though, because you attracted this whole situation. So right now, if you're in a partnership where you would know in your heart of hearts that this person is, you chose this partnership at a time when you were really choosing to create the conflict, to stay in the chaos, to not incite the change. You know, if you know that to be true, then just do the honorable thing and take responsibility for being the creator of the situation in your life. Because it doesn't matter who the other opponent is and how they also attracted it. You're gonna get the judgment for what you created in your life. So you took the pain of it. You understood that is what is balance for creating conflict, for assuming that I needed to draw my sword in this time when I don't need to. It's a situation where you don't have to go down a painful route. You don't. And for some of us, getting that information clearly from God, like getting that heads up, like, hey, so no judgment, but you didn't initiate some changes that needed to be initiated. So they're about to get initiated. I'm letting you know they're going to be initiated. So if you want to avoid, or you don't think that you want to be aligned to a certain path, a certain experience, a certain whatever later down the line, this is your opportunity now, and this is what you need to do to rectify. So there you go, Page of Rods, on a impulse decision to start your mission, to handle it, to move from your heart moving forward through it all. I just saw the sneak peek 10 of Swords. And that's where, and then boom, you are met with your own stability. You know what I mean? Because the Queen of Pentacles tells you when the spiritual truth may conflict with how you feel about something. But the Queen of Pentacles says money over, you know what I mean? It says at this point in time, because this is just a feeling, but the feeling is disconnected from my truth. This is the type of heartbreak that you accept because you receive as a gift. Because if this thing's heart breaks because of my truth, if it is like my truth stabs this love vibration that I'm experiencing, then that needs to be known. That needs to be clear. You know what I mean? So from that space, I feel as if you choose what you've cultivated, what you are responsible for, which is your entire life. And you are more proud of who you are and what you've created with your entire life than focusing on the ways that who you truly are clashes with some connection and some love vibration that you are exposing yourself to against your own truth. Because if you keep choosing to participate in this love, it's like, maybe when you first started dealing with this or exposing yourself to this, being inauthentic, putting yourself in things that don't feel like love to you. because you know that you're at the position of always piercing them. If you're someone who knows that like there's a situation, an institution, a partnership, a relationship, like a connection, an emotion to yourself, that you feel like every time, like it's almost like you feel like you're the one that punctures their joy, their happiness, their heart, that thing's heart. Like if you feel like that's what your truth does that to something, we need to look at why you want to keep, like you're a sword, you're in your truth. And if it stabs how it feels, if it's painful, you know what I mean? This is about choosing the sort of Queen of Pentacles because things were painful. You know what I mean? And you've built something real. You're connected to your value. So the truth of the matter is, be who you are. Be who you really, really and truly are. Because the payout's huge. And I think that's where we are, you know what I mean? Wow. I tell you freaking what, dude. This combination, oh my God. You will always remember this journey that was about discerning, like, you will always remember this. This was an initiation. This is like an initiation combo. Like, you got word from God, you need to go on a mission, and this is you every step of the way completing the mission. And because you completed the mission, boom, 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 Wheel of Fortune. God gave you the mission, gave you a truth to deliver straight to the fucking jackpot. And here it is. You took your date, your moment to moment, you and another energy, another truth being introduced at every step of the way, that every time you were going, like, this is the most powerful initiation because this really was a union initiation. Unions got initiated at this time. That's what you're going to experience. The initiation of a union. And I'm seeing in front of me how that played out. What the different suits you wear. You are done alchemizing. You two are now matching. Like, it's not even, it's also people and things you don't know yet. People who, like, you don't know that their cup, like when the pistol shot, it was like hands down, you know, no more alchemizing. You're getting matched to people and things in places that have the same level of cup filled as you. Period. So it defies any man-made truth that, like, because of your status, because of where you are in society, you can't, you're going to see that, like, if you've always felt like, I know this person is for, like, I've always felt this connection, or I know something, or I'm supposed to be in a space, or there's these things that, just watch, because now that would be proven true. So if that was really true, it would happen. It'd be happening now. It'll be happening now. Because you would have been sent to, you would have been told directly, I need you to do something. And you are like, oh my God, like what? Because the whole time, you know, you're going to have to really be discerning. You're going to have to really be like moment to moment committed to finishing this journey, because it leads to the Wheel of Fortune. It leads you right to your fortune. And you knew that. You knew that what you were being told to do would get you right to the fortune, where you are so, where you are right now, which is like, I feel so beautiful and amazing, and I love myself because I did it. I listened. I can't be that big of a fuck up because I was told what to do, and I did it. I went and I did it, and I completed something successful for the first time in my life. It feels like that is what this initiation was. That is what this portal was. And now it's like, oh, ring, 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 ring. It's like the funds just go up. You know what I mean? The 9 cups. I have 9 cups out right now. And I think this is a great pause, because now that we're talking about the 9 cups, I want to show you what the house was looking like as a part of the treat of this message. So let me just get things. organized because I've never given an intimate house tour in quite this way. So here is the house. So we've kind of got like this wonderful balloon arch. Okay, I'm on my iPad. Like, we've got so much vibes taking place. If you come over here, the apartment is just an amazing energy right now. So to wrap this up, I feel like that's just like an incredible vibe. But to really wrap this up, we are just extremely grateful and in gratitude. And you're at the 9 of Cups. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. The literal 9 Cups installation here. These are our 9 holy cups. There they are. They're super special to us. And I can't wait to drink out of them very soon. But yes, this is Virgo Saint, North Node, signing off. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey and for being a part of something that's so reconnecting to self and so useful in terms of getting closer to who you really and truly are. I am so grateful to forever own and have this record of my thoughts and my feelings leading up to this day, because when I'm at my 70-year wedding anniversary, I'm going to be able to know and be led and guided by the same things, the same messages that I'm telling now. So I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the love and for this series and for all of the ears that receive this and transmute it to every cell in their body. Like, glory be to the Most High. I've got to get ready. 1200 on the dot. Thank you so much. Be blessed.